Welcome back. This is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results. Today we're going to talk about the 5-day water fast, resetting the body and your energy, the do's and don'ts, and all the benefits of a 5-day water fast. Let's get right into it. So during the 5-day water fast, basically you do not eat any foods or calories. You only drink water, okay? So there's a misnomer. You think a 5-day water fast, you're abstaining from water. No, you're only abstaining from food. You're drinking the water necessary for survival. You're going to supplement with salt and minerals. You can use Himalayan pink salt, Edmund salt, or like a Celtic sea salt. Or you can use a mineral packet that's unflavored, okay? Is coffee and tea allowed? Yes, but I prefer not to use coffee and tea during the 5-day water fast, okay? If you want to drink water, you want to drink about half of your body weight in ounces. That way you have enough water during the day. So if you're 100 pounds, you want to drink at least 50 ounces of water during that day, along with your salts and minerals. How often can you do it? You know, for a general healthy population, you can do it probably twice a year to help reset. If you have a certain condition, a metabolic condition, with the guidance of your physician, right, a supervised 5-day water fast, you can do it once a month, okay? Now, people who should not do it, okay? Women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. Hypoglycemics. Hypoglycemics are the individuals who have symptoms related to going without food. They get hungry, angry, agitated, shaky, irritable, and once they eat, the energy picks up. Those are the hypoglycemics, and you do not want to fast or go straight into a 5-day water fast. Those individuals want to do maybe more keto adaptive diet, get your blood sugar more stabilized, and then maybe do intermittent fasting to start, and then eventually work up to maybe a 1-day fast, 2-day fast, or a 3-day fast. But you have to be very cautious not to throw yourself into a hypoglycemic state. Insulin-dependent diabetics, you don't want to go into a fast and continue using insulin. You need to be monitored, and you should do it with the help of your endocrinologist or primary care physician, etc. Patients who have multiple medications, they have drug interactions, and you're going without food. So you have to be very careful with people who are on multiple medications. Patients who have gastritis. These are the people when their stomach goes empty, they get burning in the abdomen, right? So you have to do some gut healing protocols in order to heal gastritis before you go into a prolonged fast. Lean body types. These patients sometimes don't have enough reserves or glycogen stores. These are the patients who are very lean and they burn a lot of fuel. So they can eat a lot, but they can still be very lean. So you have to be very careful because you don't have enough reserves or stores in order to go through a 5-day water fast. People who tend to continue to work and do heavy labor, you're going to run out of fuel and you can't do that. You really want to do a 5-day fast when you can have a break in your scheduling. So if you need a nap or you get a little bit fatigued, you can take a nap and not be a problem. Exercise. During the 5-day fast, maybe the first day you can do your normal, regular exercise. And going into day 2, you should really be doing only walking, maybe very light calisthenics, stretching, yoga, very mild, okay? If you have an eating disorder or a history of eating disorder, you should not do the 5-day fast, okay? And then alcoholics. Patients who are alcoholics tend to be nutrient depleted to start, so you definitely don't want to do that unless you have enough reserves. Again, if you're going to do a 5-day fast, you need to be probably monitored, and you should talk to your physician about doing it before you do it. Now, let's get into the benefits. During the 5-day water fast, it will improve immune function, repair of damaged tissues, including mitochondria, removes dysfunctional cells as well as pathogens. Things like candida can be overcome, okay? Reduces neuroinflammation and general inflammation. It will increase autophagy. Now, this word gets thrown around a lot, but basically autophagy is the clearance of debris and dead cellular material for recycling. Autophagy occurs all the time, right? But fasting can expedite and increase the rate of autophagy. Exercise will increase autophagy. Getting a cut on your finger will increase autophagy. Sleeping and going into a deeper fast overnight can increase autophagy. So autophagy occurs all the time, but fasting can really push it further. It decreases autoimmune disease. And the way it does that is because you're not intaking dietary proteins that become inflammatory to our system. So there's a decrease in symptomatology or sometimes reversal of autoimmune disease. Okay? Other benefits, it improves gut flora. There's been studies where you do intermittent fasting or fasting, and it improves a bacteria called Akkermansia municipalia. And this is an important keystone bacteria in our gut. Increases DNA repair, resets metabolic system and hormones. I think one of the big benefits of going to the day 4 and number 5 of a 5-day fast is that you get to reset, right? Hormonally, liver detoxification, and your entire metabolic system, really. Another benefit is that you become self-aware about your health and your relationship with food. People have really poor relationship with food, and you become really cognizant of how you feel about it. And it provides motivation. 5-day water fast can trigger someone from a poor health state, and it will motivate them to get them healthier. So there are some psychological benefits of doing a prolonged fast, okay? So now let's get into the real crux of the 5-day fast. Here we go. So what happens during the 5-day water fast? Let's get right into that. 8 to 12 hours, you're going to start utilizing your glycogen stores and your glucose. And you're going to have a bump in hormones called glucagon, cortisol, human growth hormone, and adrenaline. Okay? You will start to increase ketones in your body from fat utilization, and your body will start to transition from utilizing glucose to utilizing ketones. You can do regular exercise in the first 8 to 12 hours, and there will be an increase in hunger from the hormone ghrelin. 18 to 24 hours, you're going to deplete your glycogen stores, and your body will produce its own sugar. The process is called gluconeogenesis, and it occurs in your liver primarily, and to a smaller extent in your kidneys. It will start to impact autoimmune disease. And the way it does that is because you are not exposed to food proteins during that time. Many times autoimmune disease can be impacted by what you eat. Things like gluten protein, dairy, nightshades, lectins, etc. So if you're not eating for those hours or days, you're going to reduce the impact on autoimmune disease, or you're going to improve autoimmune disease. During this time, you will have an increase in AMPK, a key energy sensor, right? This is what helps stimulate autophagy, the clearance of cells or debris or dysfunctional cells. So autophagy cleans and is stimulated by a limited amount of nutrients. So when you go into a fasted state, it actually stimulates AMPK as well as autophagy. It will decrease inflammation, in the brain and the body, as well as creating a hybrid system. This is what we call a metabolic switch. Your body is able to utilize glucose and ketones at this time, and it becomes more of a hybrid machine rather than just a gasoline machine. During this time, you will have an increase in brain-derived neurotropic factors as well as growth hormones. You have an increase in ketones, and your breath will start to change. There will be a smell to it because you have increased ketones at that time, okay? You can do very light exercise at this point. Now, day 2, you're going to have continual increase in brain-derived neurotropic factors. You'll have human growth hormones increasing, and you might have some increase in ghrelin or more hunger in the initial 24-hour phase. But as you get into later time in the 24 hours to 48 hours, the hunger will go down, so ghrelin will go down. You're going to increase autophagy, and this is where a lot of the clearance of the aggregate proteins in the brain will start to occur. Things like amyloid, tau, Lewy body, alpha-synucleins, or even primed glial cells. These aggregate proteins are associated with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, okay? And primed glial cells, it can occur when you have a concussion or extreme stress, where the immune cells of the brain, or what we call the glue or glia, become hyperactive, okay? It helps to clear out these cells, and brain function starts to improve at this point. Something called mitophagy also occurs. And this is minimizing or reducing the inefficient mitochondria of the cells. So your body becomes more efficient in producing energy. It will decrease insulin sensitivity and help reset it. So what I mean by this is patients who have prediabetes or diabetes, the cells become less sensitive to insulin, and there's more sugar circulating in the blood. At this time, it starts to reset. The sensitivity will improve, so you don't need as much insulin to become more efficient in transporting glucose into the cells. You will decrease fatty liver and metabolic syndrome, and 90 to 95% of your energy is coming from ketones at this point. So when you check your blood, with the little ketone meter, your ketones will probably be around 1.5 to 3 at this point. A lot of gut healing can occur at this point. You can do a little bit of exercise, very mild, walking, stretching, etc. And on day 2, you might need a nap. You might feel a little bit fatigued and tired, so give yourself time to take a nap if you need one, okay? Day 3. You're going to have continued autophagy, reversal of disease, like that chronic nagging knee pain or inflamed lower back, right? Clearance of brain fog. This is where this is occurring in day 3. Increased immune function, so almost a reset of your immune function. Increase in stem cells, which will aid in the healing process, right? Those chronic nagging things that bother you will start to really heal in day 3. Your ketones in the blood will go to probably around 3 to 4, okay? And you can do a little bit of walking and stretching. Now, between day 2 and day 3 is really what we call the peak autophagy and hormone production, etc. This is where you're getting the peak amount of resetting and benefits of fasting on day 3. If you want to continue that process, you go to day 4 and 5. Basically, it's a maintenance of day 3. Okay? You're not going to get like more autophagy, it's just you're going to maintain that. The body learns the reset points, resets of hormones, metabolic health, immune function, and your gut health, right? So your body relearns it, and if you can maintain a healthy lifestyle after day 4 and 5, you can maintain this progress or benefit that you had in day 4 and 5. Okay. Not everyone can really go from day 1 all the way to day 5. Okay. I talked about the patients who should not do this and that it should be supervised. Okay. So let's get to, let's say, day 3 and you're having difficulty. At this point, you could add in bone broth for days 4 and 5 if you want. So you can do all water and minerals up to this point. And then if you're having a problem, struggling, you can add bone broth on days 4 and 5. Now, would that break the fasting component? Very mild, right? But you can still reap the benefits by just utilizing the bone broth and still utilize some of the things that you've been accomplishing from days 1 to 3. You can also switch to what we call the lemon-lime fast. I did a video on this where you're utilizing lemons and lime in water, a little bit of gray bee maple syrup in there. And you can drink that on days 4 and 5, which will help you, progress and get through the 5 days. All right? Now, coming out of the fast, you've done the 5-day fast, and what do you do at that point? You can use initially MCT oil because you're in ketosis, and you can use a good quality fat to keep you in ketosis. And immediately you can start using some bone broth or vegetable broth in the initial phases, fermented foods, cooked vegetables, okay? And then maybe plain animal protein. Okay? So you would start maybe from MCT oil and start adding all these in throughout a 24-hour period. Small portions on the first day is important. You don't want to overwhelm your system. So small portions of everything. Now, at that time, you might want to consider a ketogenic diet for another week. So you can continue the benefits of the 5-day water fast by going into a ketogenic diet for 1 more week. Okay? Now, the purpose of the 5-day water fast is about resetting autophagy, hormone clearance, etc. But the real benefit comes from making the realization with your relationship with food. Patients often have problems with gluten and dairy and sugar and all these other things. And when they do the 5-day fast with an accomplishment of doing it, you have a change or a shift in your relationship with food. Your motivation has changed. So continue on with healthy eating if you want to move forward, and you can reap the benefits of a 5-day water fast. All right, my name is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results, and we'll see you guys next week on the healthy side. Have an awesome day.